My name is Professor Dr. Debarati Haldar, and in this session, I am going to discuss about automated teller machine as a computer. We all know that if we want to get currency notes, necessarily from the banks, through the account departments, through the counters, having the queue and all these things, we generally go to ATM kiosks. In the ATM kiosks, especially when we approach the ATM, we do get to see several kinds of interactions between the customer and the ATM. Basically, ATM works as an interactive machine between the bank and the customer. So in this session, we are going to discuss about the nature of the ATM and who is responsible for the maintenance of the ATM. Let's now understand what is an automatic teller machine. Definitely, this is not a pocket machine. However, I need to explain the definition of computer to make all of you understand whether ATM is also a computer or not. For this, we have to see Section 2I of the Information Technology Act 2000, amended in 2008. Does it say? Computer means any electronic, magnetic, optical, or other high-speed data processing device or system which performs logical, arithmetic, and memory functions by manipulations of electronic, magnetic, or optical impulses and includes all input, output, processing, storage, computer software, or communication facilities which are connected or related to the computer in a computer system or computer network. Saying this, now let us understand what is an ATM machine and how it works. Automatic teller machines basically provide the cash after the customer inserts some kinds of card which is having a chip. By that, the ATM machine or the ATM reads the instruction and executes the instruction just like any other computer device to provide certain data and also the currency notes. Again, as I mentioned, this is not a pocket machine. It is maintained basically by banking institution and it needs to be manually operated by the customers who want the currency notes. Now that we have understood that ATM may be considered as a computer because it has got some essential elements that can be found in the definition of computer as per Section 2I of the Information Technology Act 2000, amended in 2008. Let's now understand what does ATM contain. Number one, ATM necessarily contains CPU. In any computer device, you would be getting to see it contains or it includes CPU through which and by which some data processing may happen. ATM also contains chip card to read the customer data. Again, this is connected with data input and data processing. It also helps in data display. Next, we get to see display board, whereby data or any other information which can also be included within the concept of data that can be displayed for the customers, not only for the customers, also for other authorized officials who may come to work and also to inspect certain data, but not necessarily that of the customers, which can be considered as a private data. ATM must also contain function keyboard and or touch screen. Now, this one is basically operated by the customers, by which they insert certain kinds of commands into the ATM machine, and the ATM functions accordingly. When I say certain commands are basically given to the ATM machine, remember that even the banks and the organization which are operating the software may also be made aware about what kinds of instructions are given to the ATM and what is expected to be done by the ATM. Again, this is connected with the output device, which may also include the display board and necessarily the part which would be giving the currency to the customer. Not only that, in certain kinds of ATMs, you would also get to see there are certain slips that are coming out to the ATM. These may necessarily contain certain printed materials about information about the account, balance, etc. After that, we also do get to see physical storage device. ATMs may necessarily contain memory board, whereby it can also relate to the customer's information. If the customer does not want the memory to be stored inside the ATM machine, the customer has got authorized power to delete his the then information. But such information may be reverted back or may be communicated to the bank also. Necessarily, ATMs may also have record printer. Now comes to the question, what ATM should not contain. We just got to see ATMs are basically kind of computers which can have the command from the customers, which can display certain information, and which is also providing certain currency notes as per the instructions given by the customers to the ATM machine. That is being communicated to the bank. Bank again gives the reply through the ATM machine, and thereafter the ATM machine delivers those currency notes. In certain cases, you would also get to see the ATM is basically instructed to give certain currency notes in certain denominations. Say, for example, 500 rupees or 100 rupees, etc. ATMs must never contain memory card inserted externally by unauthorized stakeholders. That is, somebody who is not connected with the bank, who is not associated with any sort of functions that ATM must do between the customer and the bank, or who is not authorized by the banking system at all. ATMs must not also contain certain spy cam that can be inserted on the keyboard, that can be inserted in the device which basically takes in or through which the card can be inserted. This must not be done especially either by the bank or by any unauthorized stakeholder. Let's now understand who is responsible for maintenance of the ATM, that is, a computer system through ATM. Obviously, the bank is the primary responsible stakeholder. However, there are some other stakeholders are also there. For example, the software developer who is basically assisting or supporting the ATM to maintain the data, to operate, etc., and who is also bridging the operation between the ATM machine and the bank. In certain cases, the manufacturer of the ATM can also be responsible, especially if the manufacturer intentionally, voluntarily inserts such kinds of spy chips. However, in some cases, we do get to see that the manufacturers will not be responsible after the machine has been handed over to the bank and the bank has taken over. However, again, in certain cases, the manufacturer's responsibility may go through parallelly if especially the machine has been delivered in a faulty manner or the machine contains these things without the authority of the bank or any other stakeholder that are authorized by the bank. So therefore, what we get to see, the ATM operates through the bank with the instruction of the bank, and again here the software company or the software developer or the app developer, etc., they may also be responsible for the maintenance of the ATM. Banks again are responsible for the cards that are inserted in it, the directions or instructed that are going to be executed by the ATM, and for the quantity of the currency notes. Necessarily, ATM interacts with the bank and also with the customers. That means ATM can be considered as a kind of middleman for interacting with the bank and the customer. ATMs also provides the slips for balances, etc., for transaction, etc., as per the instruction of the bank and also as per the instruction of the customer. Again, as we do get to see, ATMs also interacts not only with the bank and the customers but also with the persons or the juridical persons, etc., which are maintaining, that is the app developers, etc., which are maintaining the ATM, so that that is being communicated to the banks again. What we get from here: number one, ATMs are computers. Number two, ATMs are necessarily maintained by the banks and other concerned authorized stakeholders, as we just got to see. ATMs have electromagnetic devices, which again makes it computer. And ATMs connect the users with the banks. Banks are finally responsible for malfunctioning of the ATMs. Banks must also take the responsibility that whereby ATMs might be functioning as a spy device, because essentially the bank's authorized persons must go ahead for inspecting, auditing the ATMs, whether it is kept in a proper manner, whether any other unauthorized chips are inserted in it after the ATM has been delivered to the bank. Thank you.